presentation, I'm going to explain different biasing methods of bipolar junction transistor in order to stabilize the operating point of amplifier, BJT amplifier. Now let us see what is meant by stability factor. It is desirable and necessary to keep the collector current IC constant against the variation of reverse saturation current ICBO, sometimes it is called ICO, common emitter current gain beta and VBE. Against these variation of ICO, beta and VBE, we have to keep the collector current constant, or we have to keep the operating point constant. As you know, the collector current is related to these parameters like IC equal to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICO. ICO same as ICBO. Therefore, collector current IC in a transistor changes. First one, when temperature changes, for every 10 degree rise in temperature, ICO gets double or ICBO gets double. Therefore, this quantity is getting double for every 10 degree rise in temperature. Therefore, this 1 plus beta and ICO will become changing. And second is inherent variation of the transistor parameters, the common emitter current gain beta and VB, base to emitter voltage VB. These parameters will be changing. Beta will be changing from one device to another, from same number, but one device to another device, beta may be changing. And similarly, VB also that will be changing, as well as VB is a function of temperature. Therefore, beta and VB will be changing. Similarly, ICO will be changing. Due to these changes, the collector current will be changing. Therefore, the process of making the operating point independent of the temperature changes and variation of the transistor parameters beta and VB, that is what we call it as stabilization. That is called stabilization. Now, IC is equal to a function of, we can see that ICO, reverse saturation current, common emitter current gain beta and VBE. Or how much is the change in IC with respect to the change in ICO, or with respect to the change in beta, or with respect to the change in VBE, that is measured or that is represented as stability factor. Therefore, dou IC by dou ICO, or the rate of change of IC with respect to ICO, keeping other two are constant, beta and VB as constant, or that is what we call it as the stability factor SICO, or sometimes normally it is called the stability factor S. When we are telling the stability factor, normally we will be telling it is equal to dou IC by dou ICO, or it is DIC by DICO, keeping beta and VBA are constant. Now, second stability factor is how much is the variation in IC with respect to the variation in beta, or dou IC by dou beta, or that is what we call it as S beta. Similarly, dou IC by dou VBE, or rate of change of IC with respect to the change of VBE, that is called S VBE. Therefore, there are three stability factors like S ICO, normally we call it as S, then S beta and S VBE. Continuing the stability factor, as we have seen, the collector current IC equal to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICO or ICBO, and differentiating this IC with respect to ICO, or differentiating this equation with respect to IC, then we'll be getting it is equal to beta DIB by DIC plus 1 plus beta DICO by DIC. We are differentiating this equation with respect to IC, or we can get that DICO divided by DIC, that's equal to 1 minus beta DIB by DIC into 1 by 1 plus beta, or divided by 1 plus beta. Now, substituting this stability factor can be then reduced. S equal to, it is equal to the inverse of this one, because DIC by DICO when beta and VB are constant. Therefore, DIC by DICO, which is equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC, assuming that beta is to be constant independent of IC. Therefore, the stability factor S is defined as DIC by DICO, which is equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC, where DIB by DIC means rate of change of base current with respect to the change in collector current. Therefore, this is the equation for the stability factor. Now, let us see what are the biasing methods of transistor or transistor biasing methods. There are 4 methods that we are going to explain. One we call it as fixed biasing, that is a biasing resistance is or resistance is connected between VCC and base. Therefore, this is a fixed biasing. Second is collector to base biasing. There will be a biasing resistance between collector and base. And emitter biasing, there will be emitter resistance. And voltage divider biasing, that is widely using one is the voltage divider biasing. Therefore, there are 4 biasing techniques in order to stabilize the operating point, like fixed biasing, collector to base biasing, emitter biasing, and voltage divider biasing. Coming to the first one, fixed biasing or base resistor biasing. In that one, as shown in the figure, here a fixed value of resistance RB is connected between VCC and the base. For a RB is connected, this is for biasing or to drive the inner required current to the base current to the base. Therefore, a resistance RB is connected between VCC and base terminal, and here collector current is equal to beta times IB, or IC by IB is equal to beta. Now, considering the input loop like A, B, E, N, A, if you consider this input loop and applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law, we can say that IB RB plus VBE, IB RB plus VBE equal to VCC, or VCC equal to IB RB plus VBE, or you can find out RB is equal to VCC minus VBE divided by IB, base current. Now, for as VCC and IB are known, the DC voltage and the required IBs are known, and knowing the VBE, the required VBE to operate in active region, that can be obtained from the manual. Once you know the VBE, VCC and IB, then you can calculate what is the RB required, that is what is the resistance to be connected between VCC and base terminal. Therefore, the value of RB can be found out from the above equation. Therefore, this is a fixed biasing technique of a transistor. Continuing the fixed biasing technique, and we have already seen this figure. A resistance RB is connected between VCC and base, and here the resistance RB is equal to VCC minus VBE divided by IB, that is the resistance RB, and we can say assume that VBE will be some very small value, that is VBE will be very much less compared to the VCC. In that case, we can say that RB is approximately equal to VCC by IB. It can be noted that VCC is fixed watt, that is the VCC you are giving a fixed, and IB is chosen at some suitable value, then RB can be found out directly. This method is called fixed bias method. Therefore, like that you can find out value of the RB, which is approximately equal to VCC divided by base current IB. Now, the stability factor, already we have derived the equation, stability factor equal to DIC by DICO, which is equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. Now, to find out the stability factor, you have to find out what is DIB by DIC in this particular type of biasing. In fixed biasing, we can say that one DIB by DIC equals 0, because the base current and the collector current not at all related. Therefore, change in IB with respect to the change in IC, there is no interconnection between that one. That is why you can say that DIB by DIC equal to 0, or substituting that DIB by DIC equal to 0, you will be getting the stability factor equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1, or this is equal to 0, or 1 plus beta. Stability factor is given by 1 plus beta. As an example, if beta is equal to, normally beta current gain, complementary current gain will be high, or beta equal to 100, stability factor is S equal to 101. That means that IC increases 101 times faster than ICO, or DIC by DICO equal to 101, or the change in IC is equal to 101 times the change in ICO. Now for poor, that is why this type of biasing has got poor stabilization and the stability factor is very high. If the stability factor is very high, the stabilization is very poor. Therefore, fixed biasing has got a poor stabilization. But biasing circuit is very simple, as only one resistance RB is required, and also there is no loading of this source by biasing circuit. These are some advantage, but main disadvantage is that stability factor is very large, and that is why it is the stabilization is very poor, poor stabilization. Second method of biasing, what we call it as collector to base bias. That is, collector terminal, between collector terminal and base terminal, you are connecting a biasing resistance RB. Therefore, this is causing the biasing RB. Now, if you see the applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law to this loop, that is this VCC and this RC, then RB and this one, like this loop, or you can say that IC plus this current is equal to IB, and the current through this collector is equal to IC. Therefore, the current through RC is given by IC plus IB. Therefore, applying this KVL to this loop, we'll be getting it is equal to RC into IC plus IB plus the drop across this one, IB into RB plus VBE equal to voltage VCC, or ICRC plus RB plus RC into IB equal to VCC minus VBE. Or we have to find out what is the DIB by DIC. For that one, we are differentiating this equation with respect to IC. Differentiating this equation with respect to IC, we'll be getting RC plus RB plus RC into DIB by DIC equal to 0. Or DIB by DIC is given by change in IB with respect to the change in IC. That's equal to minus RC divided by RB plus RC. Now the stability factor, as we already seen the equation, DIC by DICO equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. Substituting this value of DIB by DIC in this equation, stability factor is given by 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta of this minus RC into RB plus RC. Or rearranging that one here, S equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1, here sign is a minus 0, that's why 1 plus beta RC by RB plus RC. Or the equation is now 1 plus beta into 1 plus RB by RC. We are dividing this numerator and we are taking outside here into 1 plus RB plus RB divided by RC divided by 1 plus beta plus RB by RC. Therefore, this is the stability factor in the case of collector to base bias. Continuing collector to base bias. This is a collector to base bias. Biasing distance between the collector and base. And stability factor is already we derived. It is equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta into RC divided by RB plus RC. Or we are multiplying this one here, and RB plus RC will be going upward. That is, will be 1 plus beta, and we'll be taking outside. And we are rearranging that one, 1 plus beta into 1 plus RB by RC divided by 1 plus beta RB plus RC. Therefore, this is the equation for the stability factor in the case of a collector to base bias. Previously, fixed bias, it was 1 plus beta. Of course, this quantity will become, we can say that one, this stability factor, it will be, surely it will be less than 1 plus beta, meaning that this method of biasing provides better thermal stability than the fixed bias stability, than fixed bias, not stability factor, than fixed bias. Because stability factor is, stability in the case of fixed bias, stability factor is much higher than the stability factor in the case of collector to base bias. Therefore, this is a collector to base bias. And now how the stabilization is taking place, let us analyze that one. And the advantage of this one, it is very simple method, as it requires only one resistor RB in the circuit, and this provides the stabilization of the operating point as given below. Let us see how does it operating point is stable. Now assume that as say temperature rises, ICO, as you know that one, as for every 10 degree rise in temperature, ICO gets doubled. Therefore, for every 10 degree rise in temperature, ICO gets doubled. Therefore, as ICO increases, IC increases. As the collector current increases, as you see the collector current increases, this drop across this one, because the drop across RC is given by IP plus IC into RC, but IB value will be very small compared to the IC. That is, we can say approximately it is equal to IC into RC. Therefore, as the collector current increases, IC RC drop increases, or this voltage VCEE gets reduced, because VCE is given by VCC minus the drop across this one. Therefore, as this drop increases, VCE gets reduced. Now, at the same time, if you see the equation for VCB, that is the collector to base voltage, VCB, VCB is given by VCE minus VBE, or VC, as collector current increases, VCE is reducing, meaning that this VCE reduces means that VCB is reduces. As collector current increases due to the temperature rise, ICO increases, then IC increases, then VCE reduces. As VCE reduces, we can say that VCB reduces, that is collector to base voltage VCB reduces. As VCB is reducing, IB gets reduced. As VCB reduces, IB gets reduced. As IB gets reduced, because IC again reduces, because IC equal to beta times IB. Like that, that stabilization is done. Or here, the explaining here, VCB equal to VCE minus VBE, and VCE equal to, that is VCE equal to VCB plus VBE. Therefore, as VCE reduces, then VCB decreases. As this quantity reduces, VCB decreases. And as VCB decreases, the base current IB reduces. Base current IB reduces. And this reduction in IB causes a reduction in collector current, because collector current is nothing but IC equal to beta times IB. Therefore, because of the increase in IC, there's a reduction in VCE. That because of the reduction in VCE, there's a reduction in collector to base voltage, then IB reduces, then IC again reduces. That is the way in which that is there is a tendency to increase IC automatically because of the reduction in IB. IC is coming to the original value. That is what's called the stabilization. That is done in the collector to base biasing. Next biasing, the emitter biasing. In emitter biasing, we'll be connecting a resistance in series to the emitter, that is R is the emitter resistance, that is a resistance that is connected in series to that one, and this is the voltage that is applied to the forward biasing junction VEE. RB is the base input resistance and RC is the collector resistance, VC is the supply voltage, and its equivalent circuit is drawn here again, RB and here RE and V minus VE, VCC, RC, this one. This is the emitter biasing. This emitter biasing resistance means RE. Now, if you write the Kirchhoff's voltage load equation for the input loop here, you can get it is equal to RB into IB, that is IB RB plus VBE plus IE into RE plus IE into RE equal to the voltage VEE. That is the, and we can say that since IB is very small, actually IE is the sum of collector current IC plus IB, but IB is very small in microamperes, IC will be in milliamperes. For IB will be very small, then you can say that IE is approximately equal to IC. IE is approximately equal to IC, or you know that IC equal to beta times IB, or you can say that IE equal to approximately beta times IB. Therefore, IE equal to beta times IB. Substituting for this here, for IE equal, IB equal to IE divided by beta. IE divided by beta is equal to IB. And substituting this value of IB in this equation, equation 2 in 1, you'll be getting it is equal to VEE equal to IB is replaced by, it is equal to here IB is replaced by IE divided by beta into RB plus VBE plus IE into RE, or VEE equal to IE, we are taking IE outside, RB by beta plus RE into VBE, or you can say that this is the emitter current is given by this in this circuit, emitter biasing circuit, emitter current is given by this voltage VEE minus base to emitter voltage VBE divided by RE divided by beta plus RE, or here RB divided by beta plus RE, or here IE is approximately equal to collector current. As I already told, emitter current is approximately equal to IC because IB value is very small. You can say that collector current is given by VEE minus VBE divided by RB divided by beta plus RE. That is the equation for collector current. Continuing the emitter biasing technique, here we have already derived the equation for the collector current, which is equal to VEE, that is VEE minus VBE divided by RB by beta plus RE. And here, if we are assuming that this RE is much higher than RB by beta, we can neglect this term so that the collector current will go VE minus VBE divided by RB. Or you can say that collector current is independent of beta. It is independent since collector current is equal to VBE minus VBE divided by RE, or in this condition IC, or which is approximately equal to the emitter current, that is independent of beta. Second, here as per this equation, this VBE will be very less compared to VEE. It will be, and that is why IC will be approximately equal to VEE divided by RE, meaning that IC, or that is approximately equal to IE, is independent of VB. You can see that from these two statements, in emitter biasing, the collector current is independent of the beta common emitter current gain as well as VBE. Now let us see how the collector current is varying with respect to the temperature. As the temperature changes, IC, that is, we can say IC is independent of beta and VBE. Now coming to the output equation, output loop equation here, VCC equal to IC into RC plus IE into RE, IE into RE plus VE. That is output loop equation is that one. And you can say that IE is approximately equal to IC. Or substituting that one, we'll be getting the collector current is given by VCC minus VEE minus VCE divided by RC plus RE. This is the collector current in this case. If you're writing the output equation KVL to this one. Now let us see, as collector current increases, what happens? How does it? It is stabilizing, because if there's a tendency to increase the IC due to the rise in temperature IC, then there should be a mechanism to reduce that IC. How does it done in this? That's called a stabilization. Now let us coming back to that one. VBE, that is VEE equal to 1. Already we had derived equation. VEE equal to, from this loop equation, IE by beta plus RB plus VBE plus IE into RE. That is this loop equation. And in this case, as IC increases, you can say that IE also increases, because IE is approximately equal to IC, because IB is very small. Therefore, as IC increases, IE increases. As IE increases, this drop is the voltage drop across RE increases. As the voltage drop across RE increases, what is means V is a constant. VBE gets reduced. That is, base to emitter voltage gets reduced. As IB gets reduced, IB gets reduced. That is, as this voltage reduces, the input base current reduces. As base current reduces, IC gets reduced. That is the way in which this is getting stabilized. That is called emitter biasing. Therefore, as IC increases, IE increases, and that will be reducing the VBE, and VBE reduces, and this will reduce the base current IB and brings back to the IC to the original value. This is the way it is being stabilized. Now coming to the fourth method of biasing, voltage divider biasing. In voltage divider biasing, this is the widely using method for biasing and stabilization of the transistor. Now here the VCC is that voltage is divided using two resistors, R1 and R2, and this R2, this terminal is connected to the base. Therefore the voltage is dividing, that is given to the base. Therefore this is the biasing method. And in this case, the resistances R1 and R2 connected across VCC provides biasing and emitter resistance RE provides the stabilization. That is, this is providing the biasing and this is the stabilization is provided by RE. Then voltage drop across R2, that is the voltage drop across R2, that will be forward biasing the base emitter junction. Now if you write what is the voltage across R2, that is given by VCC divided by R1 plus R2 into R2. That is the voltage across the resistance R2. And applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law to this loop, this VR2 equal to, that is VR2 equal to VBE plus the drop across this IE into RE, that is IE into RE, or that's equal to VBE. Therefore, that's equal to V, that is IE into RE, or that is VRE. Therefore, that is equal to VBE plus IE into RE equal to VR2. Or you can say that IE equal to VR2 minus VEE, VR2 minus VBE divided by IE into RE, or that is divided by RE. Or this IE is approximately equal to IC, because emitter current is approximately equal to, therefore that is equal to the collector current. Or you can say that one collector current is equal to, if you assume that VB is very less compared to the drop across R2, if this drop is very less, then it can be approximated as VR2 divided by RE, or meaning that collector current equal to, that is VR2 divided by RE, because VR2 is very much large compared to VBE, or thus the collector current IC in this circuit is almost independent of the transistor parameters and has a good stabilization. Therefore, IC does not depend upon beta, IC does not depend upon the VBE like that one. That is why IC is independent of the transistor parameters and has good stabilization. Therefore, the voltage divider type of bias becomes universal method for providing transistor biasing. Therefore, this is a universal method of biasing transistor. At the input side, we are dividing the voltage by two resistors R1 and R2, and this R2 is connected to the base. This is called the voltage divider biasing. Continuing the voltage divider biasing, and here applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law to the collector circuit, output circuit, we are applying this circuit, collector circuit, we are applying the KVL, and the voltage VCC equal to the drop across RC, ICRC plus VCE plus drop across RE. For ICRC plus VCE plus IE into RE is equal to VCC. Now we are assuming that since base current is very small, IE is approximately equal to IC, and then applying that one, we'll be getting VCE equal to VCC minus IC into RC plus RE. That is the voltage across collector to emitter is equal to the VC, this voltage minus IC into RC plus RE. Now applying to the Kirchhoff's voltage to the input loop, that is we are applying the input loop here. This voltage is given by VR2, which is equal to VCC divided by R1 plus R2 into R2. That VR2 equal to this voltage VBE plus the drop across RE, IE into RE. But IE is approximately equal to IC. For we are replacing IE by IC, so that's equal to VBE plus IC into RE. Or as per this equation, if at all as temperature changes, IC is changing, because ICO gets double for every 10-degree rise in temperature. As ICO increases, IC increases, because IC equal to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICO. Therefore, as ICO increases, IC increases. As IC increases, the drop across RE increases. IC into RE increases. And this VR2 is a constant, because VR2 is given by VCC divided by R1 plus R2 into R2. This voltage is a constant. As the current IC increases, this drop is increasing. Meaning that as this drop increases, VBE gets reduced. Therefore, then VBE gets reduced. As IC increases, VBE gets reduced. As VBE is reducing, the base current reduces. The base current reduces. As base current reduces, IC reduces, because IC equal to beta times IB. Therefore, again, IC is brought to the original value. This is the way it is getting stabilized. If at all there is a tendency to increase the IC, automatically IB gets reduced, so that IC is brought to the original value. That is what we call it as stabilization, done by the voltage divider biasing. Now let us see the stability factor. What is the stability factor in voltage divider biasing? As we have seen voltage divider biasing, the two resistors R1 and R2, they are connected across the VCC, and this voltage is divided by that VR2 is connected to the base, and the corresponding equivalent circuit here, you can replace this one by a Thevenin's equivalent voltage that is equal to V voltage across R2, that is VCC divided by R1 plus R2 into R2, that is the voltage, Thevenin's voltage, and Thevenin's equivalent resistance is given by R1 in parallel with R2, or R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Therefore, this is the equivalence from the input side. If you see that one, this can be replaced by a voltage source, Thevenin's equivalent voltage source with a series with Thevenin's equivalent, say RTH resistance. And now we are going to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law equation to this input loop. Now, if you apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to loop here, the voltage ETH, or here this voltage ETH is equal to the drop across this one, that is IB into RTH plus VBE plus IE into what the RE, that is this voltage, across the resistance, across the emitter resistance RE. And here ETH can be IB into RTH plus VBE plus IE is nothing but IC plus IB. Therefore, IC plus IB into RTH. But here we know that the base current is very less compared to IC. That is why you can neglect while calculating IE, you can approximate it to the IC. Or replacing IE by IC, the equation is now become ETH equal to IB into RTH plus, or we are not neglecting in this equation. Actually, it is neglecting, but we are taking to this point. In this case, we are not neglecting. We are substituting IC plus IB itself, and then IB is taken to here, RTH plus RE plus VB plus IC into RC. Now we are going to find out the DIB by DIC, because stability factor is given by 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus DIB by DIC. This is a stability factor, 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. Therefore, we have to find out what is DIB by DIC, change in IB with respect to IC. In order to find out that one, we are differentiating this equation with respect to here IC, or you'll be getting it is equal to 0, it's a constant 0, or RTH plus RB into DIB by DIC, that's also equal to 0, plus IC with RE. Or we can say DIB by DIC equal to minus RE divided by RTH plus RE. Therefore, this is the DIB by DIC. Substituting this DIB by DIC in this equation, you'll be getting S equal to 1 plus beta divided by 1, this is minus is 1 plus beta RE divided by RTH plus RE. Therefore, substituting here, it will be going top 1 plus beta RTH plus RE divided by RTH plus 1 plus beta into RE, or here RE, here 1 plus beta plus RTH divided by RE is taking outside, RTH divided by RE divided by 1 plus beta RTH divided by RE. Or if you assume that this here RTH, this one RTH is very small compared to RB, then you can neglect these terms, or you can get that 1 plus beta divided by again 1 plus beta, or stability factor is equal to near to unity provided RTH is very less compared to RE. In that case, you'll be getting the stability factor near to the unity. That means that very good stabilization is obtaining in the case of voltage divider biasing. Stability factor is very small, is equal to 1 unity, provided RTH is very small compared to RE.